everyone, this is Tina. So welcome back to my channel. I'm here again with my actual junk journal series. I think this is now episode 3. So for those guys who've not kind of been following along with the series so far, what we're doing is attempting to make a junk journal from actual junk. So far we've completed just 2 pages. So we've got this page here. Love this page, and then we have the reverse of this. So if I just kind of move my pieces to one side, we have got this page. So literally I've kind of gathered up bits of literally junk, you know, things that were literally just either being thrown away or they've been, you know, been just laying around in my house or kind of drawers or, you know, work or whatever for a really long time. And I just thought I'm going to finally use some of those things. So since obviously last time, I have continued to hunt around my house for more junk to use, because obviously I'm very worried that I'm going to kind of very quickly run out of supplies. And what I have pulled in today is I've just got this old catalogue. It's from a shop here that we have here called Laura Ashley. It's a furniture and house kind of decorating shop. Well, it's not actually, it's a clothes shop as well, but this is the catalogue for the home department. I absolutely adore Laura Ashley. They have the most beautiful things. And this one is obviously 2018, but it's spring and summer, so it's obviously out of date now, and obviously would just be for the recycling bin. So I thought possibly we could use some bits and bobs of this for the junk journal, as we are just using purely junk. So what I've done is at the back, it's got these little pages, which are little kind of samplers, just tiny kind of 1.5 inch by 1 inch probably, rectangles of their fabric range, and also they have the same of their wallpaper range. So I thought these would be particularly handy. So I have already torn out a couple of pages. If I just show you. So I've just torn out a page here, and I've cut the strip along the top. And then I cut out a couple of the rectangles from that. So that's what are here. They're literally just those little floral pieces just cut out. I'm just going to pop them to one side. I've got another piece of that Primark bag, so I've added another bag to the pile because I thought perhaps we needed more than the first one. And I've just literally folded it over and glued it together to kind of form a pocket. So that's that. And then if you followed along with the series, we've got this, which was the cover of the calendar that we're going to be using quite a bit of. And I've just literally fussy cut a little bag out that was down here. I've purely done this so that I wasn't boring you all, you know, doing it on camera, because obviously, you know, there's nothing very exciting going on. And the final thing that I have done is I took a couple of the images from the Laura Ashley catalogue. This was just an old index card thing, you know, that goes in a file folder. I can't remember, separator page, you know, index page separator things. So it was junk. It was literally, you know, a used one. So I have used this to back on a couple of images from the catalogue. So obviously I've got a lot more that I can use on here, but I didn't want to kind of use it all, you know, I'll start cutting it before I came on and showed you kind of what I've been doing. So I would just save this for either making tags or whatever else, but I thought we'd do, and I don't know whether this is going to work. This might look utter rubbish, in which case, you know, we won't use it. But I just thought maybe this would be a nice way to kind of fill some of the, you know, the fancy pages that we're going to have in the book, to kind of make some backgrounds a bit more interesting. So, you know, it may work, it may not. But I just, you know, thought we'd come along and play, and I thought if we back them onto the card, they're a little bit more like the kind of die cut shapes and things that we buy. and a bit more kind of ready to use in a journal. So obviously these are quite stark because they are, you know, they've just been in the, you know, the catalogue. So, you know, it's not my intention to obviously use them kind of naked, as it were. So I've got my distress ink, and I'm going to literally distress ink this up a little bit to make it look, you know, less grey and white and more kind of in keeping with, you know, the vintagey kind of style. So I mean, already that looks much better. Okay, so I mean, I'm just thinking we could kind of have that there. I'm also, while I'm here, just going to sorry, can't speak today for some reason, just going to distress ink the bag and the little rectangles that we also cut out. So that's the bag. Now, unfortunately, I ironed this before it was quite dry, so along here it's kind of separating. I'm just going to literally stick that down with some glue, because we don't want that coming up and you know, spoiling the book and the page. So just glue that down like that. Let's have the back. So that's that. And then these ones, we'll just distress ink these like that. Oops. Okay. So we've got one. We'll just distress ink this one. Like that. And then we've got this one here, which is kind of, you know, a grey and a kind of plum colour from the wallpaper kind of sections. So what I'm thinking we're going to do is kind of make a little belly band here using this, you know, this carrier bag. Now, if you followed along last time, you'll be aware that we've got these little flaps that we're kind of reinforcing the holes on the page. So that's what they're kind of flapping around, you know, there for. So I'm just going to trim this down slightly on this edge. Like that. Let me move that out of the way. I don't think that's very straight, I have to say. Okay. I'm going to try and get a few of these episodes in the bag because I think kind of, you know, my Gypsy Rose series, I don't know whether kind of anybody else felt this if you did follow along, but what happened was I actually made the mistake of I couldn't wait to use the kit, and I therefore did a couple of episodes before my holiday back in the summer, and really that was kind of a mistake because when I got back from my holiday, you know, I didn't know this was going to happen, but firstly, you know, I was craft starved, so I came back with loads of things that I was dying to do. So there was that factor, and also alongside that, now this ink pad is not the wettest, so I'm just going to kind of test it out here. So I came back kind of craft starved and, you know, therefore got started on millions of different projects, you know, which obviously is not great because then it's hard to kind of keep track of what you're doing, and I kind of, you know, was losing track of things. And also time-wise, I obviously then had all sorts of things on the go and only really had time then. You know, I was trying initially to keep the videos down to a kind of reasonable length, i.e. half an hour. And then really what happened was obviously the series ended up being 1 half-an-hour slot per week, which, you know, I mean, I know myself, just going to distress ink around the edge of here. I know myself from watching, you know, not box sets, but you know, the series is on the telly in their non-box set form, if you see what I mean. So rather than binge watching them, trying to watch them on a weekly basis, and I find that so frustrating because you lose momentum before you can be bothered to wait, obviously, for the next episode. So I'm very conscious not to kind of do that this time. So what I'm going to try and do is actually have a few of these episodes kind of in the bag, ready, before I even upload any. So that literally I'm ahead of the game, if you see what I mean. Now, I don't like this big white handle. So what I'm going to do, I'm not great at fussy cutting kind of, you know, with tiny scissors or anything. So what I'm just literally doing, I've snipped the kind of handle and I'm just cutting around like that. And then when I glue it down, the handle will be glued down, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I'm going to try and have a few of these episodes actually done before I even start uploading the series. So that this series doesn't kind of have that, you know, having to wait for each episode kind of scenario going on. Because, you know, I find that boring kind of when I'm watching things on the telly. So, you know, I don't want to kind of obviously bore people. Maybe I prefer it like that, actually. I don't want to kind of bore people, so I'm going to kind of attempt to do it like that, I think. So that's the plan. I don't know whether that will necessarily kind of pan out. It obviously depends kind of what else goes on. I've got quite a few things going on in my life at the moment anyway. So, you know, we'll have to kind of see how it kind of pans out really, but that's the plan. So that's my kind of initial aim, is to kind of crack on and, you know, have a few episodes kind of done. So fingers crossed. So I just wanted to kind of have a little stamped piece over here in the corner, like that. Okay. And I wonder, we should put the clock onto some fabric. Let me just try. Well, I guess I could have that kind of down there. I mean, I'm kind of thinking these are a little bit like postage stamps in some ways, this, you know, these little fabric pieces. Now I'm wondering whether colour-wise I'm better off just having these two, because maybe that's where that was not looking quite right with the grey. Let's have a look. What I think I will do is actually glue a couple of these pieces down so that it's not all moving about, because it will be easier to see kind of what I'm doing, I think, if a couple of pieces are glued down. So let's just stick this piece down here. And this one here. Do. I don't think I've bought my hole punch, which is going to be a nuisance because I'm just having a look through my pile of my junk that's sat next to me for the journal. Oh, no, that's so annoying. No, I haven't. So, well, it doesn't matter because I will be able to kind of feel roughly where the hole is here. So what I might do is just kind of mark it with a pen. So as I know where that is. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'll glue this down here. Like that. yes, I mean, let me know what you think below, whether you think that's quite a you know, good way to do it, because you know, be handy to know kind of your feedback really. And I love reading all the comments and things, so thank you so much everyone for, you know, the comments that you do leave. It's much appreciated. Let's glue this down now. There we go. Like that. Okay. Oops. Got bits of thread stuck all over me. Can't speak. For some reason, can't speak. Right. So, I mean, it might be that this clock is not right on this page, to be honest. So what we could do, just see whether it would look better just having that on there. No. I've got this ribbon, which for some reason, when I'd done the kind of what I'm calling the trailer for this series, I'd kind of taken all the stuff back to kind of my craft area and dumped it all there. And then for some reason, when I came back to do the first episode, I had left some of the stuff there. I'm not quite sure why that was, whether or not I couldn't manage to carry it all. I'm not really honestly entirely sure. So I have got everything here now, hopefully, that I'd kind of pulled out. I've got a little notepad here, so I might just stamp that and have that somewhere actually. Now I'm just going back through the little file, wondering what to stamp that on. To stamp onto this, so I could stamp it onto here, which might be kind of good. Now again, I should have bought my stamp block, but you know, sometimes these things are very random and I don't really know what I'm going to be doing until I come to it. So I don't know how wet this stamp block is going to be to do this particular stamp, so I will trial it first on this book page, because it really might not come out particularly great at all. Not too bad, not too bad. So I'll do it another couple of times, or another one time, because hopefully it will kind of, you know, soak in the ink a little bit more. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And then just literally ink it up like that. And we'll put it right over there on the edge, because obviously we have got limited supplies here because we're doing this junk journal. So I don't want to waste any single bit that I've got, because I might regret it when then I don't have any more extra pieces. So I quite like that. Like that. I'm just going to cut it. Like that. And I absolutely love the 2 pages that we've done so far. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So I hope that the rest is all going to look as good. So let me just round the corners of this one. And I think what I might do actually is just tear along the top. Like that. And then just ink a bit around it. Like that. And then what we could do, I just suddenly thought, is we could have a little kind of tab going off there. Not sure, maybe that doesn't really add anything in particular. thinking ruffle down here. Have a look. Maybe it looks better like that actually. Now I'm feeling a lack of fabric on this page, so let me just pull this net back in, you know, from the net skirt that we've been using. Just literally snipping a piece off so we've got tinier pieces to work with. Just sew it, not sew it, sorry, cut it away from the stitching. We have got this little interesting piece now. Could have that kind of stuck somewhere, I suppose, actually. It's kind of cute. Gets a little bit kind of tatty up here, but if I cut it kind of there, like that. Oh, that's cute, isn't it? So I think what we'll do is we will glue this piece on. Probably should have hot glued this down because this is quite thick card, obviously, because it was, you know, essentially a birthday card. So I probably should have actually hot glued it so that it would stick faster, but never mind. Oops, and then we've got the handbag, which we will just pop on kind of here like that. And then I probably have to weigh this down for a couple of minutes before we can kind of finish this page. So I'll just glue this round. And then I'm going to glue it kind of hanging off a bit so that the handle isn't hanging off, if that makes sense. So like that. I'll just fold this over. So as it catches any of the glue. There we go. Oh, that looks so cute. Really cute. So, and then what I might do is just ink a little bit around the page. Tiny bit at the bottom. Oh, I said a tiny bit. It's really dark now. Oh well, that might be covered up anyway in a moment. So depending on, you know, how we finish this page off. So I don't think it really matters too much. I'm just going to glue this little piece of fabric there. Let me just check I'm in frame. Okay. Okay. And we've got this tiny piece, which I just thought, you know, waste not, want not. So, oops, now I can't really see which was the right way up for this. It's just nice to kind of use things because we're quite limited on our supplies. I will just make the most of using kind of everything I have here, I think. So I might just have that kind of going like that. And we have got that little flower that we made last time, so we could have that kind of somewhere. And we were going to possibly have a little ruffle of the bow somewhere, maybe even kind of up there. So let me just cut that down. Now I'm just wondering, because I don't really want to have the staples showing on the other side, I don't mind sometimes, but obviously on the other side we've got that page there and I don't think the staples would look so pretty on there. So I'm just going to see if I can staple this now. If I can't, then what I will do is I will just hot glue it in a kind of ruffle. In fact, perhaps I should just hot glue it now, because that's probably going to be quickest rather than mucking about. So let me get my hot glue, which is now kind of leaving strings literally coming off everywhere as I'm, oh, the string is like never ending. I know I've said this several times lately, but I had bought my glue from the same person I'd bought from before on Amazon, but it's definitely not the same glue. And funnily enough, I've now run out, or you know, I'm down to my last couple, so I need to order some more, and I need to kind of decide what glue I'm going to order, because this one was not as good as my previous lots that I've had, so I don't really want to kind of order this one again. So I need to kind of just, you know, pick one that's kind of better. Thing is, it's very hard to say. They all have similar reviews. You know, and I mean, obviously the reviews, it depends what people have used them for, doesn't it? So, you know, they kind of can only be as helpful as regard to what you've used the glue for, you know. I mean, some people I'm sure find it perfect for their needs and some people wouldn't. So, you know, there's that to kind of bear in mind, really. I mean, hopefully you can kind of all see. I don't really even feel it's gluing this ribbon down particularly brilliantly. I suppose it has, but it's, yeah, I don't know, just not quite as good as it should be. I think it's probably the best way to sum that up. So there we go. And I really wanted it kind of looking a little bit scrumpled, so that's that. So love how that page looks. We've got this piece obviously that we could kind of just pop on somewhere, maybe even along the top of the bag. That looks kind of cute, doesn't it? Yeah, I think I'll do that. So I'm just going to trim it here at the side, like that. And then we'll just glue that there on the top of that bag. Oh, so cute. So cute. Oh, love that. So that's that page. Now, I think I said last time, but I also had bought along the, oh gosh, what's it called now? I won't be able to see it. Another distress ink. I feel like it was broken lipstick or worn lipstick or something like that from last time. Let me just rummage through my pile to try and find it. Oh, here it is. There it is. No, nothing like that. It was picked raspberry. Now, I've only used this a couple of times, I think, and I've had it for a really long time, but it's really, really, really bright. So let's just have a look. And I've only got this one ink pad, which is a bit of a shame, but we'll just see. Because I haven't used this for a long time, it's not looking so bright today. So what I might do is just literally go around the very edge of the page with the kind of pink. Like that. Oh, that looks so pretty. There we go. Just touching that little bit here. Oh, that page looks so cute. Really like it. So that's that page. Now we could have this little flower. I'm not sure really whether we need it. Yeah, maybe not. And then what we'll do is literally, we will just pop in, again, one of these little shopping lists. And we'll just have that folded over. coming out there of the little belly band across the page. Now obviously, as I say, when I finish the video, I will have to punch the holes in this because they had kind of got lost, but that's fine. We can do that, you know, I can do that in slow time. So we've done 3 pages now so far, so loving how this is looking. So I moved those to one side. Now the other thing that I did, and I've just laid out a couple of items here so that we're, you know, not taking up too much time. So what's the time now? 30 minutes. So, and I said on the Gypsy Rose, I was going to kind of make the video slightly longer so we can achieve a bit more. So that's what I'm kind of thinking here. So what I've done, this was a little flyer inside that Laura Ashley catalogue, and literally I thought the colours were pretty on it. I've fussy cut out some shoes again from that cover of the calendar, and I wondered how they might look. So I wondered whether we could do a kind of book page, a bit like the Patricia Viramonte's book pages that she does. And then I just laid out a couple of things to kind of put with it. So obviously we need to cut this down. So I'm kind of thinking if we cut it here, yeah. So I'm going to just trim it down the side. And that obviously takes care of some of that kind of brown that was going on anyway and gets rid of that. This is going to more or less cover the 10% off your first order. We're going to cover this up with some lace trim anyway and up the top. And then the shoes, I thought we could back them onto possibly some fabric like that. So then the whole kind of page is then disguised, if you like. Which I thought would look quite pretty. So what we might do is again kind of decorate the back of the page a little bit, which we could do with again the pink kind of stamp. I did bring quite a selection of stamps, so let me see what else we've got here. So I've got just this gorgeous script stamp. I've had this for years and years. But I love it, and you know, continue to love it. So I'm just checking how that's coming out because obviously the dry ink pad. So if we just literally stamp a little bit of that just randomly kind of around the page. I mean, all we're trying to do is get a bit of interest going on because otherwise the page might be quite plain. And then I've got those stamps that we used on that other piece. Now this one I really haven't used particularly for years. So again, wasn't sure how juicy it would be. So just going to stamp it because it's a stamp with a lot of flat to it, if that makes sense. So it's really sucking in the ink. So if I just literally pop that down just at random, well, not really random, but just down the side of the page. So in fact, not random at all. But I thought we'll just kind of start off by doing that just down the side. Looks pretty. That. And then just last one there, and the last one down the bottom. There we go. So, I mean, as you can see, that ink pad is very dry, which is a shame, to be honest, but never mind. And then what we could do, now last time I had used this little page as, you know, for a tester. And do you remember we had this, which I thought just looked really nice. So I'm just going to see whether that would look good behind here. So what I might do is actually make this book page first now before we finish decorating this page. So let's ink up the shoes. So I'll grab my ink pad back. Now I've just kind of what they call kiss cut around these shoes when I fussy cut them out. So I think that's what it's called, and it refers to when you kind of leave a white edge around the edge. So that's kind of how I've cut those. And then, so we could have them on there, or we could have them on that pretty net. So let's have a look here, which we didn't end up using actually on the last one at all, you know, which is fine, but I wonder whether we could use it on this one. Just have a look how this is going to kind of appear. That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? Not sure that that's quite deep enough for those shoes. Let me just have another look, because I have a feeling that the centre section of that skirt is a bit wider than that bottom bit. So let me just cut some more of that. Sorry, I know this is tedious. I had a lovely message from Jessica Rapp a few months ago saying, please stop apologising for boring everybody, and I have really tried my very best to not do that since. But you do feel a bit self-conscious when you're kind of doing something that, you know, is even boring me, so it must be boring you. Right, that's better. That's a bigger piece. So I'm just going to glue this onto the fabric. Plenty of glue, because obviously it is gluing onto that fabric, which is kind of a net or a kind of mesh type fabric. So, you know, it's kind of got a lot of gaps in it. Okay. So I probably need to weigh that down for a moment. Oh, everything's just slid down. Oh, my poor son. Let's just wonder what goes on. Right. So now we've got obviously the book page. So what we'll do is, I think we'll ink this up. Obviously this is a bit of a glossy page, so I don't know how brilliantly it's going to take the inking, but we'll give it a try. You know, it's all just trial and error, and we are just here having a bit of fun, so you know, it's fine. So we'll just try inking it up a little bit. So, I mean, obviously it looks like it's taking brilliantly, but what I'm saying is it could just wipe straight off, you know, when we kind of touch it. Actually, it seems like it's taken it okay. So maybe it will be all right after all. Okay. Just do that piece down there. And then I'm going to just ink up a little bit of this pink lace. And again, I'm struggling in this bright light to see what's the right way and what's the wrong way. Not that there probably even is a right or a wrong, but you know. Oops. Oh. Okay. So I'm going to now stick this down the sides. I mean, obviously, really, you know, it would have been nice to stitch this, but I mean, again, obviously I haven't got my sewing machine here at my son's desk, so we're just going to kind of just stick it like that. Okay, so hopefully that's fine anyway. And then what we could do to make it look a bit more professional is round the corners. we go, like that. I'll just press that down either side. And then I thought it looked quite pretty with the lace there. So I wonder how that pair of shoes are doing. They're probably stuck now to the book page. It's whether or not they've stuck to the net, you see. Okay, I'll just cut this piece off. They look good to me. Just pop that to one side, and then thought I was being a bit previous by kind of doing those, you know, gluing the pocket itself shut before I'd actually glued them on, but never mind. Never mind, we'll go with it. Now, have I cut my piece of lace or not? No. Okay. And then we could just have kind of a piece of fabric kind of just hanging up there or something. And I think that looks quite pretty. So I might just hot glue these shoes down so as we get them glued down pretty quick. So actually let me put another glue stick in, because it's coming to the end and I don't want to kind of get the shoes half stuck and then obviously run out of glue. So here we go. Okay, like that. Sticking everything to everything. Let's hope I'm actually sticking the right things to the right things. So we'll pop that like that, and then just kind of check how this is going to look if we had this kind of up here. And the lace trim there. And then I'm constantly pulling this flower in, I know, and it's a little bit annoying, but you know, we could have the flower somewhere on here, which maybe would look quite cute. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? And obviously we haven't reinforced these pages either yet, so we will put some fabric there on the sides. So let me just drag some fabric in for them as well. So this must be some that I hadn't coffee dyed. Must be the batch I'd used on the first day that we worked, because I hadn't coffee dyed that fabric at that point. So I'll just literally ink it up like that, and I would just ink this fabric more. This has been coffee dyed, but I'll just ink it a little bit more anyway. We could have it like that, or we could do it kind of more ruffled up, I guess. Let's glue this lace on so that stops moving. Okay. Actually, I'm thinking what we could have done with was, you know, that piece that we just used for the top of that bag on the last page. It's a piece of that. So let me drag in the skirt again. Okay, and just cut a piece off to use along the top of there, because thought that would look really nice. So if I just cut that in like that, and then let me just cut it down a little bit, because it seems to have a lot of fabric coming from goodness knows where. Okay. I was leaving this, I didn't know quite what to do with that, but I'm going to cut it off because it's a bit annoying. So I'm kind of thinking like that. So let me just cut that to the approximate size. I can move this out of the way. Okay. Once you cut it off of the skirt, strangely enough, it's weird to, or it's difficult to see, you know, what way round it actually is supposed to be, and how it kind of laid on there really, but never mind. Okay, cut that piece off. Like that. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? And then so let's pop. I mean, it probably really doesn't matter to anybody else which piece goes where, but again, you know, it does to us crafters, doesn't it? So just going to cut that fabric, just tear off this piece, or cut off this piece that's got the kind of seam attached. So I've got that one, and then we're going to have one here, like that. That there like that, just literally kind of popped along. I just fold it over so that it's kind of as if it's stuck on there, so that we can just check that out like that. And then we could just decorate around the page a little bit more, and also maybe add some more stamping details. So let's glue these ones down. My glue now is kind of getting a bit globully down the side. Right, glue these ones down. And again, we'll do the same as what we have been doing, in that we're just going to glue them on one side, because again, we don't know what we're going to put on the other side of the page, so we don't know where we want the tab, whether we want it over or under whatever is on the other page. Like that. And then what we'll do, might use the brown ink for a moment, and we'll just do a little bit of just this big stamp in the corner. Top, just running along like that, just so it's got a bit more detail going on kind of around the edge there. Okay, so when that comes back in, glue this along the top of there. Like that. Just snip that off. Might just kind of tear it, if it will tear. And actually you could have it as a little fold up now with the fabric, but we won't do that. But just kind of something, I guess, to note that we could have done. So I've got that. I have got one of those little butterflies that we had from last time that I've just noticed kind of, you know, to one side. So I might just ink that just with this and pop that on somewhere. That looks cute. And then actually I also had this little tab which I might just pop on there. Now it does say January. I don't mind that. But I guess it could always be covered up anyway. So just pop that on. Just ink it up a bit. I've had it actually as a little page turner. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Like that. I'm liking that. That looks cute. So perhaps we'll pop it there instead. So I might just pop that down like that. Like this. Now I'm wondering if we need anything else here in this area, because I would like to cover up that table in an ideal world. So we didn't stick this little trim on, did we? Perhaps we should have had it like that. Actually, I quite like that trim along the top. Sorry guys, I'm now getting a bit tedious. I think it's because I'm getting quite thirsty now, so I'm going down that slippery slope of just dithering around, which is not obviously great fun to watch, so I apologise for that. Well, perhaps we'll pop a bit of fabric on there. Just get a tiny bit that was here. This is in my rubbish pile here that I've just torn it off. So let me just, I'm not using this, I'm just getting the idea of how it would look to have a piece of fabric kind of there. I wonder if we should have this lower down. Yeah, I quite like it low down actually. So what I'm going to do, let's glue this trim up here. Just hot glue that. Like that. Just so as it glues on kind of instantly. Like that. And then let's just get this pocket stuck down. So I'm going to stick it now, do we want it as a tuck spot or a pocket? Might just stick it as a tuck spot, and then if it doesn't seem to be working like that as we go further through the journal, we can always kind of stick it on another side, can't we? down like that. Now I've got this gorgeous tag, so I thought we'll put this tag in the pocket. So again, this is just a, you know, merchandise tag, just from, I think it was some pajamas or something. Had it for a long time, just thought it was cute, and obviously had the ribbon on there, so hadn't binned it. So I just thought that would look cute. Popped in here. So I like that. Still wanting to cover this up, and I still can't quite picture what to pop there, so that's really annoying, and I know it's really just boring to watch. So let me just see whether I've got anything that I can quickly grab and kind of stick on there from the little bits and bobs that I've got to the side. I've got these little notes which actually were torn already, so perhaps I should just stick that there. Oh, that looks better already, doesn't it? I just wanted to cover up that kind of brown from the table, you know, where we'd kind of folded that page over, because it's looking a little bit drab. So this is much better. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Right. Happy with that now. And then we have got the little butterfly, which, you know, we can pop there. That's cute. Okay, so that looks really pretty now. Okay, so we've done another couple of pages. So it's coming along, our little journal. So yeah, we've done now 4 pages, I think. So let's have a look. Got obviously this one, got to do the back of that, and then we've got this one which we have done the back and the front, and then we've got this one here. So really thinking this is super cute, this journal. You know, it is made, as I say, completely from junk, but I think it's going to turn out really, really pretty. So I hope you had fun, and I do apologise for the, you know, dithering around. I think obviously kind of my electrolytes were kind of running low and feeling a bit thirsty. So anyway, it came together in the end, and, you know, really pleased how it looks. It looks really, really super cute. So yes, we shall leave it there for today, and I will see you next time. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all your support, and would love to hear any comments below. So I hope that you are enjoying this series. I know it's a little bit kind of, you know, strange to actually make such a complete junky journal, but, you know, hopefully you're all having fun, and obviously hopefully it's accessible to everybody, because we've all got junk, so we can all create with something, you know, that we've got. So hope that you've had fun, and catch you next time. Thank you very much. See you. Bye.